Am I the jerk for telling my wife it's her fault the waitress called her fat? My wife recently wanted to try out this restaurant by us, where the servers are mean to you. I thought it was a bad idea, since my wife is a very sensitive person. I told her it was a bad idea, but she insisted she'd be able to handle it. So we went. My wife has gained a lot of weight since we got married, since she already hooked me and doesn't need to try anymore, her words not mine. She's over 250 now. Anyways, when we went to the restaurant there were a few snide comments directed at me at the beginning, which I thought were funny. When it was time to order, the waitress said to my wife, "What will you be having?" I'd recommend water and our smaller side salad. Seems like you haven't had one of those in a while. My wife cried and immediately left the restaurant. She's been moping and crying for the last 2 days. I spent the last 2 days trying to comfort her, tell her I don't think she's ugly, etc. Today she kinda threw a fit and I snapped and told her it's her fault she's upset and she shouldn't have insisted we go there to begin with. I told her I'm done with a pity party and she can call me when she gets over it. I'm staying at my brother's house right now where I can actually relax and not have to walk on eggshells. It's been great. My wife and her family have been messaging me calling me an asshole, but my family thinks that they're wrong. Am I the jerk for telling my wife it's her fault the waitress called her fat? Part 2. Would I be the jerk if I go on vacation instead of my brother's wedding? My brother Tom, 36M, and I, 26F, have never had a really solid relationship. Due to our age gap we didn't spend much time, and by the time I was old enough to develop a personality he was moved out of the house. For the last 2 years my brother and his fiancée Sarah, 32F, have been planning their wedding. And it's coming up in September. I was asked to be a bridesmaid. I figured I was only asked as a courtesy since I'm a soon-to-be sister-in-law, but I still took it seriously. I've been a bridesmaid for the last 2 years. Just a few weeks ago I managed to save up to buy the $800 bridesmaid dress. Overall in the last 2 years, between group outings to parties, dinners, lunches, clothes, etc., I spent thousands of dollars. Eventually all the girls in the wedding and I became extremely close and I started to get hyped for the wedding. Sarah recently got close with her brother's wife Becky, 30F. Last week she dropped the ball on me that she no longer wants me to be a bridesmaid and she would prefer if Becky would take my place. It broke my heart a little, but it's her wedding and it's not my place to tell her how to run it, so I said it was fine. Yesterday I went to my brother's house to pick up the bridesmaid's dress, and was going to see if I could return it since it was within the time frame. Sarah was completely appalled and said that Becky was going to wear it since she and I are the same size. I said that would be fine, but they would have to pay me the $800 for it. Sarah said that Becky couldn't afford and I should just be nice and let her use it, and said that I could keep it after the wedding. I explained that I'm not just giving away the dress, and I'm not ever going to use it after the wedding. After some bickering back and forth I just ended up taking it and leaving. My brother and Sarah tried to compromise with me, and say I could be the assistant flower girl, and I felt offended at the offer. After I said no, they then said that Becky could give me $250 for it. Again no, and I returned the dress and got a full refund. I told them I understand that it's their wedding, but they are being extremely disrespectful to me and I don't need to deal with it, and I'm not going to the wedding. Today my coworker says she has an extra round-trip plane ticket to go to Miami that she'll sell to me for half price, plus I would have to pay for half the hotel and I can go hang out with her in Florida. The only downside is that I'll be in Florida for the week of my brother's wedding. So will I be the jerk if I just go party in Miami instead of going to my brother's wedding? Part 3. Am I the jerk for saying no to a new puppy? My husband's dog died on Easter this year after 14 loyal years. I say husband's dog BCE predated me, and although I was the one who took care of him 70% of the time due to my husband's work travel, the dog was never fond of me. It was a lot of work to care for an aging dog who showed no real affection towards me, but I still loved him and did it happily. We have another dog that's 10 now and we got her together. She's always been my dog, even though we got her together. With 2 small kids, another dog, my own career, I am just sort of enjoying not having yet another creature to care for. Unbeknownst to me, my husband signed up on the waiting list for a puppy from the breeders where our in-laws got their dog last year. He found out today that he has a dog available for him to purchase at the end of August. It was always our plan to discuss and decide on our next dog in August, not get one in August. He tells me 2 days ago and says I have to say yes or no by today. I am neck deep in work stuff this week and leaving for a 5-night work trip, and he sprung this on me. I am not interested in this particular puppy, it's not a specific breed, or an older rescue that we can predict how it'll be with small kids. I am personally not ready for another dog and it's going to be a big dog. I thought saying no would be understood, but he got really emotional and stayed at the hotel last night. I don't think I'm being selfish in saying no to this dog, it's not no forever, just a no until we can decide on the right dog together. I don't like that he only gave me 48 hours when he knew about this for a month. He wants the specific dog to be see it's the same parents and thus the sibling to his dad's dog and the last litter that will be bred with these 2 dogs. My husband can be dramatic to get his way, but he has never stayed at the hotel to manipulate the situation. It just really took me by surprise. So am I the jerk for saying no to this puppy he clearly really wants? Part 4. Am I the jerk for not correcting my mother with dementia, racist and homophobic remarks towards my partner? My 28 mother, 66, suffers from dementia. I warned my partner, 29, that she has no filter and is extremely racist and homophobic, which are the reasons why I have not introduced them to my mom. I have personally learned to accept the behavior trying to argue, rationalize, and or correct non-physically harmful behavior is just not worth it. She will apologize then forget 5 minutes later. So I have learned to live with it. Her doctors are also in agreement that it is a wasted effort to try and correct such behavior. My partner insisted on meeting her. I once again explained why I am against it, but they were dead set on meeting my mom. So we went to go meet her. My mom did what my mom does. My partner was crying and got upset with me because I did not even try to defend/correct her. I explained it is a waste of time, and I told you all of this beforehand. They did not expect it to be so scathing. I said my mom does have a sharp tongue. My partner continued to question my actions for tolerating such behavior. I simply replied she is my mom who is sick. Then I started to make jokes about it, and this upset them greatly. I just left it as if I do not laugh I will cry. They kept trying to harp on it, calling me a failure of a partner to allow such things to fly. I tried to tell them I explained all of this beforehand, yet you still insisted. You think I really was going to go through the effort to try and correct the actions of someone that barely knows who they are half the time? I told them, I already tried to fight that war for years early on in this journey, it was just too painful. I had a choice to make, learn to accept it or never see my mom again. I love my mom, so I picked the latter. I thought this was the end of it, but it happened to come up again at the dinner we had with some friends. Pretty much everyone at the table called me and a quote the worst type of person simply because I did not think it was worth the effort trying to correct the behavior. One even said I should disown my mother. I left after that. So am I the jerk for not correcting the behavior and downplaying the seriousness of the issue? Did I overreact when I left the dinner? Should I have done more to protect the feelings of my partner? Thank you for tuning in. Share your thoughts in the comment section. From the British we say see you on the next one.